Okay, today I want to review one of my favorite, well, all-time favorite movies, The Thing, the 1982 movie. Well, first things first, I've seen like people talk about it, like the end of the movie, where it's just McReady and Childs. Um, there's a lot of different like things people have said. That Childs was already assimilated, and you know, I've seen the movie a few times, probably like 10 times, and I believe that McReady, he'd already seen the way that other people that had been assimilated, the way they behave. They become more like docile, and they're just not their normal selves. Uh, for an example, what was his name? Childs. So Childs, he all through the movie he was like very like cynical, and wouldn't believe anything. If anyone like disappeared for a while, he automatically thought they had been assimilated. Childs, the guy, he he just become like increasingly like more and more like agitated. And when he kind of shows up, and it's just like him and McGreedy at the end of the movie, judging by like the escalation, I just really don't see the guy, being as calm and relaxed as he was at the end of the movie. So I think McGreedy knew that. He'd seen, his other coworkers' behavior, and he just knew it wasn't. I don't even think it was about the drink. A lot of people think, oh, he took the drink and that's how he knew. I think he knew even before he offered him the drink. He was just like, oh, you just confirmed. But I mean, he would have probably already have thought he was assimilated anyway, just for the simple fact he disappeared. Almost like a backup plan for the thing, because Blair was kind of like almost like the main like he was like doing a lot of like I guess like recreating a spaceship underground. And I think they just, after Childs got assimilated, he just kind of went off and did whatever. Or maybe he had like the like slow uh assimilation, like some maybe something like got on him, or I don't know. Maybe it was like he took like the slow path of being assimilated, similar to the guy. He what was his name? I don't think I wrote his name down. Uh, oh, Norris, similar to Norris. So if you notice with Norris's character, he was having like pains up until he finally turned. I think he was the first example of someone that got assimilated the slow way. It didn't just completely like we saw in like the 2010 or 2011 movie, to where it just like it grabs you and then like takes you in and changes you in. I mean, it like a duplicates you. I think maybe both those two were examples of like the slower process. But yeah. Anyway, the movie, The Thing, it's about some Norwegian scientists, I guess. They discover something in the ice, an alien in the ice, and the movie starts out. Well, the movie starts out with like a spaceship heading towards Earth, and it's kind of wobbly. So I guess that's kind of like alluding to the spaceship like crash landing or something going wrong aboard. Maybe the thing was assimilating whatever alien, um, and then it led it to crashing the ship. I mean, one of the great things about like a movie is about a movie similar to this is you kind of have to piece things together for yourself. So, I mean, that's a mystery. What happened to the spaceship? Yeah, but the movie starts out with basically like this these two Norwegian guys on a helicopter. They're chasing this dog and shooting it. They're throwing grenades at it, and uh, they run into these Americans. I'm not for sure what they were doing there. I guess maybe some kind of scientific research too, but they run into some Americans, and the Americans have no idea what's going on. These two guys on a helicopter are shooting at a dog, and then the dog runs up to the Americans, and then the Norwegian guys, they know it's a thing, so they're like, shooting, and one guy goes to throw a grenade. The grenade goes off and blows up the helicopter and everything, and then they shoot the Norwegian like attacker. So the Americans have no idea what's going on. There's a pretty funny scene. It kind of like builds McCready's character. He's playing this computer chess game, and the chess game like cheats him, and he just completely destroys it, which is hilarious. Um, what else happens in the beginning? They kind of just take the dog in. Um, so like you never know like what could have been going on. Like maybe the dog had rabies or something. I mean, you never know. They probably should have quarantined the dog, but I guess it was the 80s, so they didn't really think about that. Anyway, so after that, they go to the base where the dog and the pilot came from. And, you could tell a lot had gone on. Um, yeah, just everything was like destroyed. Someone had like slit their wrist, and the blood was like frozen. Like it was freezing, like as it was coming out of the person. And you could just see like a lot of went on there. So, that would almost make you think they would want to, quarantine the dog. Uh, then in a really gross scene, well, there's like two really gross scenes back to back. One, well, the first is the dog that they put with the other dogs. He goes to try to, I guess, assimilate all the dogs in the kennel that they're holding him in. With it's kind of cute. There's this one dog. He starts like biting the cage, and he's really trying to survive. And it was just kind of cute, but it was a really gross scene. Even watching it today, 40 years later, it's still, it still looks pretty cool. I would say like they did a really good job with the effects on that. Then we go to the like alien when they dissect the alien scene, which is pretty funny because the guy that's like dissecting it, just like the faces that he makes, and then when they cut to the next scene, he kind of puts his head down. I don't know. I didn't really notice it like the first few times that I watched it, but this last time I watched it, so I could do this review. Um, I paid attention to that, and I just thought it was kind of funny. I guess maybe he was grossed out. After that, they watched this video of like what the Norwegian team was doing, and they see that they were, that they had found a spaceship, and I guess they figured, and then they saw like a few yards, maybe like 50 yards away from the spaceship, there was like a block of ice that uh, that the scientists like cut out. So I guess put two and two together. It's what got out of the spaceship, and yeah, that was pretty interesting. It's like what do you do when you find a big, huge spaceship? It looked like it was about the size of like a football field. One of the scientists had surmised that it had been there for at least like 100,000 years. So it kind of almost reminds me of like Prometheus or something like that. And the movie Prometheus, this alien, he kind of like seeded Earth, but I guess that wouldn't be like 100,000 years. That'd probably be like a billion years. Uh, and then, so what happens after that? So one of the doctors, he, I guess he looks through like some blood samples, and he realizes that, I guess it's like an assimilation process. It takes time, and they realize that the bodies, even though they appear to be dead, they're not. So they burn the bodies, and the doctor, he starts to get more and more paranoid. The paranoia, it slowly starts to grow. Um, where should I go from there? Oh, I'll talk about what I noticed from like the different ones like being assimilated. So with Norris, I already talked about this. I think he was assimilated through like the longer process. He had pains, and they ended up having to carry him to like get him operated on, which led to another like really gross scene. But it was pretty cool. Blair, he they had like locked him away. He was the doctor that I keep mentioning. Yeah, so Blair, he went crazy. Well, I mean, I guess he didn't really go crazy. He started thinking like logically, not wanting the thing to get out. So he like destroyed the helicopter. Anyway, so they locked him away, and while he was locked away, you could see like his, he was becoming different, and he was like more like apologetic and everything. You might think the reason why he was behaving like that is because he's locked away. He wants to join everyone else, but I don't think he would want to join everyone else because he was the first one that began paranoid and like took heed to everything that was going on. So I think I really think he was just. I think he might have. He more than likely had the slow assimilation too, and that's. But we couldn't really see because he was away from everyone. They just checked on him two times. Palmer. He was one of those guys that like kind of always had something to say until he was changed, and then instead of every time them just kind of like showing him, if you notice when they do show him, he's kind of looking away. He's actually being more humane. He's not as you know he's not as he's not as much of a smartass, basically. you know Before that, he always kind of had something smart to say, so you can kind of tell with him. And then Childs at the end, yeah, he was the only one. He was one of the only ones that it's not for certain, but it's not an absolute, but I'm pretty sure he was changed just by his behavior and everything, because he behaved like all the other guys. And what else? What else can I say about this movie? Yeah, the ending was good. McCready, he took on the doctor that was building a ship, like underground. I guess he had snuck out of where they were keeping him. Uh, yeah, I mean, it was 1982. What can you expect from, like a boss level fight at the end of a movie with a big alien creature, Yeah, with that said, so I've seen the other three Thing movies. So there's one from the 50s, there's one in 2010 or 2011. If I had to rank them, I would say Thing 82, The Thing 2011. I'm going to review that pretty soon, maybe even tonight. And then The Thing from the 50s. I watched like 10 minutes of it. I might review it. It was a hard watch for me. Like the acting back then, it was, I can't really stand with like today's acting. I mean, things evolved. Not that I'm, you know, trying to poop on at the actors back then. There were some really good ones, but just in that movie, I just couldn't do it. But I'll probably watch it just so I can review that too. But yeah, movie, The Thing, 1982, 10 out of 10. Really great movie. If you haven't seen it, you should go ahead and watch it. For watching my review. Bye, guys.